Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Birds and Braves podcast. I'm Luke Winstel. Thank you for your support of the show. Please be sure to follow the podcast on social media at Birds Braves Pod. Please like and subscribe at YouTube on the Birds and Braves podcast channel and find us on the internet at birdsandbraves.podbean.com. Today on episode 21 of the Birds and Braves podcast, I'll be previewing the Falcons game when they go and play at Philadelphia this Saturday at 4:35 p.m. You can tune into the game on NBC. Collinsworth and Michaels will have the call. So now to start off, I'll preview Philadelphia and talk about the Eagles a little bit. The Eagles are the number one seed in the NFC. They're coming off of a first-round bye, so they've had some time to get rested. In the regular season, the Eagles were the number one rush offense, and also their defense was one of the top at defending the run. The Eagles led the league in time of possession in the regular season with an average of 32 minutes and 41 seconds per game. They have a couple of big-time running backs they acquired, one in the offseason, one in the season. LeGarrette Blount came from New England in free agency, and Jay Ajayi was acquired in a trade with the Miami Dolphins. Those are the two main guys in their stable of backs. They were both added in the most recent offseason, and now for the Eagles' 2017 offense. They were cranking when they had Carson Wentz in the lineup at starting quarterback. 362.5 yards per game, 28.8 points per game. They were third in the NFL in total offense, first in scoring offense, and first in time of possession. Without Carson Wentz, they average only 259 yards per game. They score 16 points per game. They're 27th in total offense, 9th in scoring offense, and 22nd in time of possession. And because of the Eagles' recent performances when they haven't had Carson Wentz because he is out for the year with injury, Offshore Sportsbook 5 Dimes has installed Atlanta as a 2.5 favorite at Philly. That is the first time ever a 6 seed has been favored over a 1 seed, and the Falcons now have 8-1 odds to win the Super Bowl, behind only Minnesota, New England, and Pittsburgh. And one note about Philadelphia that I found very interesting, they have the worst strength of schedule in the NFC. Another fun fact, this will be the fourth all-time playoff meeting between the Falcons and the Eagles, making the Eagles the Falcons' most commonly played postseason opponent. Atlanta won a wild-card game between the two teams in 1978, Philly won the divisional round game in 2003, and in 2005, the Eagles beat Atlanta in the NFC Championship game. Now to preview a couple of interesting matchups. First off, the Eagles' offense against the Falcons' defense. Peter King said the Eagles need to run the ball 40 times in this game, and that's probably right, especially with the Falcons' defensive backs having such a great performance last week. Philadelphia is going to have to make it a priority to get blockers on stud linebacker Deion Jones if they hope to be successful on offense. I read an article in Sports Illustrated that was previewing the game, and it noted that one of Philadelphia's favorite run plays is a trap play, where interior offensive linemen will bypass a defensive tackle and they'll go immediately to block the linebacker. Expect to see this with LeGarrette Blount and Jay Ajayi in the game. A key to the game for the Eagles' offense is staying out of third and long situations where Nick Foles' lack of twitch and decisiveness can be problematic against a Falcons secondary group that is coming off of a great game and they've been outstanding in their on-ball coverage. So in this matchup, the Falcons' defense, especially with the way they've been playing lately, will have an advantage over a Nick Foles-led passing attack that has looked a lot less than spectacular. And for the Eagles' defense, priority number one, especially after Julio Jones is coming off a big week last week, their priority number one has to be to stop Quintorius Julio Jones. Another interesting thing I read in a Sports Illustrated article is that Philadelphia's cornerbacks do not travel. Jalen Mills plays the defensive left side, Ronald Darby the right, so Atlanta can dictate matchups simply by where Julio Jones lines up. The Eagles are very versatile at the safety position. They often have 3 on the field, and 2 of those 3 guys, Corey Graham and Malcolm Jenkins, are capable of playing anywhere. One of them will help double-team Jones. Atlanta's going to have to adjust to a lot of things. Philadelphia has a very good defense, especially they're very good at stopping the run. Atlanta's going to have to adjust to what Philadelphia does defensively. They're very good at stopping the run, so on early rundowns, the Falcons should probably replace some of their zone running plays with passes in order to nullify an Eagles defensive line that is the best in the NFL against the run and pretty much unstoppable on third down and long. It's all up to Sarkisian and how he chooses to adapt in this game and how he changes based on what the Eagles are showing and what the Eagles are giving. In-game adjustments will be a very big deal for Atlanta in this game against the vaunted Eagles defense. And the pick I saw from Sports Illustrated, and I've seen from many other people and many other magazines and publications, they all picked the Falcons. Atlanta is favored to win. They know how to win in the playoffs. Philadelphia and this core in this group is relatively inexperienced in the playoffs, especially with Nick Foles having only one career playoff start at the quarterback position. And of course, if you ask me, I picked the Falcons. I think it will be a defensive game, but not a very low-scoring game, just about a 24-17 victory for the Falcons. That's what I'm looking at. That's my projection and my prediction for what we will see on Saturday. And a couple of general notes just to cap off the show. The Falcons won a road playoff game for the first time in 5,481 days when they beat the Rams last Saturday. And the last Falcons postseason road victory came in the 2002 wildcard round when Michael Vick's Falcons defeated Brett Favre's Packers. And if Atlanta is going to make the Super Bowl, they have to beat the Eagles at home and then either Minnesota or New Orleans at their place. So Atlanta's taking the tough road this time as the number 6 seed, but it has been done before. Another fun fact, the Falcons have won playoff games in back-to-back seasons for the first time in franchise history. Dan Quinn said, "We're starting to play our best and be the best version of ourselves." And lastly, I'd like to talk about a couple of Falcons head coaches. In 7 seasons, Mike Smith went 1-4 in playoff games. Dan Quinn in 3 seasons, 3-1 in playoff games. It's a big improvement from Smith to Quinn as far as the playoffs go. And with Dan Quinn, he's successful in the playoffs. Another thing that a lot of people don't realize, he has coached in 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls. He knows what it takes to get there and to win the big game. And that's all I have for today's show. Thank you for tuning into the Birds and Braves podcast. I appreciate your support. Please be sure to follow on social media at Birds and Braves Podcast, and also check us out on birdsandbraves.podbean.com and on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in to today's show. I'll see you back soon with another one. Thank you.